Oh my God, I love your sister.
You know, she
Yeah,
mine, ain't she?
she is so dope. I love Ashley. Oh my God.
She is. I'm looking just like her with this.
You really are, as much you say that's your sister. Oh my God. That is so dope. Sisters handling their business.
Come on, man.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
It ain't nothing like having somebody that close to you doing the same thing that you're doing.
Man, I know, and it's a blessing too
Yeah.
for it to be that way because it's like, who else you gonna turn to? You know, look at her talking about, oh, I love y'all. We love you too, girl.
Yeah. So,
Yes, she is amazing.
man, man.
That is good. Man, that's good. Like I wish I had the like the balance of the motivation, but I do now, like with my cousin, she is making some huge moves now. And it's like I don't feel alone. You know, it's like having somebody in your family just like doing what you
What you
doing.
doing, man? It's powerful
Oh
because people don't understand. They like, a girl do what?
yeah.
Uh, like the struggle of me getting together. Now Ashley understands that, you know, but everybody else wouldn't understand.
It's like you having somebody that relates to you and everything that you have going on and stuff. So
Yes,
it's so important. That's good.
yes, ma'am.
Well, let's get down with your meditation or exercise that you get ready to do.
Okay. No, it's not a meditation.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not a meditation.
Okay. Well, go ahead. You can get started.
Okay, so one thing I just want to introduce myself. I am Ebony D. I am what I call myself the mommy enthusiast and a single abandoned pregnancy survivor, right? So people say, so what is that? What is abandoned pregnancy? So basically, what took place is the reason why I'm on this whole journey is because my child's father decided to walk away when I was pregnant.
Wow.
So not that we got in an argument, not that we wasn't friends or cool. He just decided he wanted to do something different.
Mm.
So this was weeks later. So you mean so I'm telling you I went through the entire pregnancy without him.
Wow. So even when he wasn't involved or not around or anything, how did you feel once he like expressed that to you?
What express what that he don't want to be around?
Or it was his actions?
No, he told me out the gate that he wants to be with another woman,
Okay.
which was his ex girlfriend. So he was like, "Well, I really want to be with her, and I can't tell her I got a baby on the way. So I think we should just have an abortion."
Yeah.
So the first feeling I had was shock because I mean, this is somebody who I've been kicking it with. We've been pillow talking with. You know, we've been doing a whole lot together.
Mm-hmm.
And then something this precious that could bond us for life, you tell me no. He's like, I can't do it right now. And oh, it was so painful. It was one, and I feel like I've been through a lot in my lifetime. You know, my mother wasn't really around, my dad wasn't around. You know, so I dealt with abandonment before.
Right. It was like you was reliving every moment of your past life and now you dealing with it with your own child that you have inside of you.
That and it hurted me so bad because I felt like a failure. Like, how am I going to explain to my child that yeah, you have a father, but he just didn't want to be around. So, with that being said, it just day in and day out, day in and day out. It was like I wasn't even here. It was like I was walking this earth, but I'm
Mhm.
mentally checked out, emotionally checked out, physically checked out. I don't even know what's going on. All I know is I'm coming and going. Routine. Get up, go to work, come home, eat, sleep. Get up, go to work. And that's all it was. I really, even though I was pregnant and people were like, oh, I'm pregnant. Yay, I'm excited.
Right.
I didn't get that chance. I didn't
Oh,
get that.
man, that's heartbreaking too, because I actually know some women personally that dealt with situations like that. And you know, I just feel like it's unfair in a sense, even though you know the situation, or even if you get into a situation, both people are responsible for that child once that child is conceived, you know? So it's like it's just a messed up thing. So what type of did you have any pregnancy issues during that? Because that causes a lot of stress on you too, especially when you go into doctor visits and everything. It's like you reliving him not being there every single time you go for a checkup or any feel the baby kick. It doesn't matter.
You know what? That's a good question. And my pregnancy, believe it or not, was beautiful.
That's good.
Thing about it is, God, and then I turned my back on him, clean turned my back on him, you know. But even though I did that, he still made sure he knew I was going to be by myself. So he still made sure I could maintain. The pregnancy was beautiful. My son was on my sleep pattern. It wasn't where I was trying to sleep and he was up kicking. No,
Mhm.
we was on the same. I'm tired, he tired. We sleep and that's it. And then when I'm up, he's moving. But that was it. So I didn't have any complications besides when I was delivering and he didn't come out. But before then, it was perfect. Now with the stress part, that's when I began my journey of healing
Okay.
because my grandmother said, because I was down, depressed, stressed, all that, and my grandmother said, now you know everything that you feel, that baby feels.
Yeah.
You want to bring a baby to this world that could possibly be sick, suffer from other things because you worried about somebody that's already gone. Now, when people tell you that kind of stuff and you already vulnerable and hurting and crying,
Yeah.
sick, you like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Why are you saying this to me? Yep. I already know.
What you meant, I was crying even harder. I already was, but
Right.
you said it, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. And so then it just goes deeper and deeper. It hurts so bad. And I was like, but she's right. She's right. But how do you heal? How do you heal when you got to get up with this big old belly? You getting up with the morning sickness. You got to go to the doctor's appointments, or you got to go to the grocery store. And because I had ended up getting gestational diabetes.
Oh,
Um, so I had to make sure I ate right because I didn't want to have diabetes.
okay.
So I'm doing all this by myself, shopping by myself for the baby, carrying stuff in the house by myself. Like, I'm like, who does this? Who does this?
Mhm.
But there's always purpose
So
to
what are things that you did for yourself to keep going every day? Because you know, some women that dealt with situations like that, they don't know what direction to go into. They don't know where to put their mindset at. So where was your mindset to even get yourself out and get yourself up every day?
my son was the only thing. Um, the one thing I thought is if I don't my grandmother always says the man has a choice to leave or stay. But as a mother, that's all you. So
Mhm.
even though I didn't feel like it, I still had to get up and go. But when I tell you I went up, I got up and went, but I still was crying. Crying was therapeutic. I'm talking about pillows and pillows of tears crying. And then I just began to later on down the line when I found out I wanted to heal, I
Mhm.
broke down and I surrendered to God. And
That's good.
it wasn't nothing that I did. Because I could tell you I was just like those females. It was because I was
Yes.
tired of crying. And here I get on Facebook, you popping bottles and going on You living your and I'm crying.
Yeah. That's a whole nother level of energy to make you keep going. I don't know. Some people pain brings purpose to them, and some people consider the pain making them like break them, you know. But for you to see that and for you to keep going, that ain't nothing but a blessing, and it's nothing but God. Because some people don't realize that, and once you surrender to God, He will work things out for you, and that's just exactly what He did for you because you surrendered Him at that moment.
You know, I can't even stunt. I wanted to slit my throat. I wanted to slit my throat. I wanted to have an abortion. I wanted to just run away and never come back because I felt like society was gonna look at me like I went to church and everything. I thought they was gonna look at me like you pregnant by where the baby daddy at or where's your husband
Mm,
at? And people the doctors will always say that and stuff. So um with that being said, you're right. I just I had to depend on God. It was times I didn't even want to wake up. I'm like, forget it. I just didn't want to wake up because I'm like, what justice am I gonna do for a little boy? I'm a woman.
right.
What am I gonna do for a little boy? So, but you're right. I did not slit my wrist, and I'm gonna tell you why. One day I was riding down the street, and as you see, I wear lashes.
Hmm.
Uh, so I'm riding down the street one day. I'm just crying profusely, and we have a pastor in the city who
Hmm.
said, "For God knows your purpose to prosper you and not to harm you." And I'm like, what is my purpose, Lord? Why this hurts so bad? What is my purpose? And then he gave me the scripture, Jeremiah 29:11. I'm on the way to get a ultrasound. I said, if it's a boy, I'm going to name him Jeremiah just because of that scripture.
Hmm.
I felt like God was talking to me, and then went and got a gender reveal, and it was a boy. So I felt like God was telling me, you can't give up. Like you can't. You gotta keep going.
That's good, and that served your purpose, and it saved your life too.
Save my life.
Yes. So, do he like after you had a baby and the baby was here? Did the father end up coming back into your life, wanting to be a father, or he's still out of his life?
So he came back. So I went into labor, and my best friend called in and said, "Hey, Ebony's in labor. She just had the baby." So he ended up calling me. Of course, I'm doped up on morphine and everything. He ended up calling like, "All right, I'm gonna come up there and see you." But of course, he's in a relationship at this point, so he wasn't coming. But of course, I get all hyped, like, okay, seeing other kids.
Yeah.
So I felt like my son deserves that. Um,
Yeah.
he didn't come and see my son until 3 weeks later.
Wow.
He came and saw my son 3 weeks later, and when he came, he thought he was gonna get some.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I said,
It's like you forgot the whole everything that you done to not only me but your child, but yet you want to come see him 3 weeks old and want to have sex with me. I really don't understand that because I notice some men don't want nothing to do with their children unless they are tied to the mother and having sexual intercourse with them, or vice versa. Some women are like that too. They
yeah,
want to have sex with the man and be with they in their lives. But I just feel like it people really need to grow up mentally and know that it's for the child. Like that's what you're here for. So
yeah.
how did that go? Like did he still come after that?
So he came. We ended up getting a DNA test, of
Okay.
because he want to play that. Oh, I don't know. So we
Okay.
ended up getting a DNA test, and then the test results came back, and then he would play. He started coming. I could say when my child was up until like 8 months. He saw him twice, 2 or 3 times. That's it. I found myself begging him because he's still in this relationship, so he don't want. I mean, it was so bad. One time, Yvette, he came over to my house, and I had to leave. So I was like, "Well, can you grab the car seat?" He was like, "Mm," because he didn't want nobody to see him, just in case somebody knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody.
Right, right.
He didn't want nobody to see him carrying a car seat. And I said, "What?" I said, "That's cool. Don't even worry about it." So he saw my son maybe like 2 or 3 times for 8 months, and then the whammy came, child support. I'm like, he wasn't taken care of. He was doing absolutely nothing. So I had to put him on child support. And then the courts is what made him finally, because he's scared. He think he gonna go to jail or something. I think, I don't know, but because the courts gave him a schedule, now he does see my son.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Lonzy in his life. That's so important, especially a young man. In the times that we're in now, it's like so dangerous for men right now. It's like you gotta raise them to let them be aware of what's going on. So
exactly.
so that's good. So how are you from you dealing with all of these trials and tribulations? Can we reverse back to your childhood? What was it like growing up?
So with my childhood, my grandmother raised me and my sisters, of course. Of course, our parents had us young and just wasn't ready to take on that role of being responsible parents. So my grandmother raised us, mama in and out, father just chucked the deuces, and uh, so having to deal with seeing other people with their parents, and
Hmm.
you can't see yours, or other parents coming to PTO meetings, and coming to see the teachers and go to different events. I didn't have that. So it put me in a situation where I actually turned into a bad kid. And what I mean by that is I was isolated. I always had an attitude. I had an attitude problem. I swept a lot of stuff under the rug. I was angry, rage, like I was a fighter. So
Okay.
there was really nothing you can say to me, and I didn't retaliate with fighting.
Okay.
Because I didn't know it, but the more I have healed, it was because I was abandoned. And that's just how I deal with my feelings. I just sweep them under the rug and keep it pushing, and I just fight for what I want, you
Mhm.
know. So I feel like generational curses, it's important for every parent to cover their child in the womb and outside the womb and break those generational curses, because I was abandoned as a kid, and now my son is going through the same thing. Well, he went through the same thing,
Right.
but I didn't think about that. But I want to tell everybody, anything that you did not like in your past, pray over your children so they don't experience it. You know.
Right. And another thing is really just being truthful. Sometimes being truthful to your children and letting them know the mistakes you made, the things you've been through and everything. And when they're of age to have an understanding and comprehension on what you're saying, it helps them for you to stir them in a different direction in life compared to the things that you've been through too. And I think sometimes I've noticed sometimes when people carry on their problems and issues, they love to see another person deal with it too.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's kind of it's very very weird, but I don't even think they really noticed it either.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't either. And but what I can say is now, so I went through this period. I'm gonna tell you how my son saved me with that. My mom and my father ended up coming to, when he was born, they came
Okay.
to delivery, right? And I'm like weirded out, like, whoa, what's going on here?
When was the last time you seen them before that though?
Like my mom, she's always around, but she's just in and out.
Okay.
She's been like that my whole life. But my father, I hadn't seen him since I was like 16, 17 years old. And at
Wow.
this time, I'm 28.
Wow.
So when he came and he stayed the entire 3 days with me with my son, and I was just shocked, like, whoa, okay. But at that point, I knew what forgiveness was because I'm like, he made a mistake, but he tried to correct it. And ever since then, I have been able to talk to my father. Hey, just talk to him without being angry.
Mhm.
But it's because of Jeremiah. Jeremiah connect those dots. My mother, they like two peas in a pod. So when I tell you this, my son has saved me in more than one way.
Wow. It's
Father,
like
every
you
day.
know, reconnected with their past, and it's like when he come, it's like everything is starting to come together for you to have another light of life.
Yes,
That
yes.
is good. I'm really happy for you. So, what you doing all of these things now? So,
Hmm.
tell me a little bit about your organization, Road to Recovery from being abandoned.
Okay, so Yvette, before I tell you that, let me tell you first how I even got into it. Long story short, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, right?
Okay.
And then I thought all that emotional stuff I don't deal with. I can't. I gotta get this money. That's how I think, right?
Okay.
I don't think with my emotions. So one day my sister, so I'm going through with my sister about this course I want to design for entrepreneurs, and she like, that ain't it. And I'm like, so what's it? And I'm mad at her, of course, because I want you to support my dream.
Right.
She like, no, you need to touch on that pain that you feeling or that what you went through with your child's father. I looked at her, I was like, I wasn't there. Tell the world my story. I wasn't there. You want me to tell my issue. I'm not doing that. So anyway, I thought about it and I ended up taking her advice. So then I started creating this road to recovery. And what that is a mentorship where I help women recover mentally and emotionally from abandoned pregnancy, and that's when their child's father leave them. And it's important that you understand what you think is what you feel,
Mhm.
and that spills out into everything. How you act, who you connect with, who you attract, the cycles you continue to go through. Like I wasn't healed from my father abandoning me. So because I wasn't healed, I was still going through that process in my life.
Right.
So the road to recovery is you taking step by step to uncover what is it that's keeping me in this situation that I desperately want to get out of. So with that, I'm gonna do my little thing,
Okay.
my little exercise. Okay. So one of the things I teach in my mentorship program is how to uncover mental strongholds. Right.
Mhm.
This is an orange, and we know oranges are heavy. Like
Right.
if you launch your hard enough, you gonna break something. So, and this is how I felt when my child father left. I felt heavy, I felt hurt, I felt sad, I felt guilt. Like I should have never laid down with you. I should have kept going. Oh, my son is gonna hate me. I was shameful to where I would wear a ring on my finger just so nobody would think I was just single and no,
Mhm.
even lied to the doctor's office, like, oh, he's at work, but I'll show him oh, it was horrible.
Aw.
So this is how I felt. I felt this heavy. But as I began to get on my road to recovery and God told me, get up, he yelled at me and said, get up. Um, and he started downloading things for me to do. The first thing is affirmation. So you have to understand where you're at. I'm hurt, I'm sunken, I'm deep in this hole I can't get out, right?
Mhm.
But then when you start to speak over your life
Phew. Yes.
and you start to get up and say, I can do this, all them burdens begin to fall off. You gotta cater to yourself. So it's like an orange. You know how you peel an orange. It don't look good on the outside, it don't taste good on the outside. But you start peeling it, and I used to say, I am strong. I am worthy. I am the best mother he's ever gonna have. God got us. I
Mhm.
love you. I'm a beast.
Yes.
I am financially stable.
Yes.
I am emotionally stable. I
Yeah.
am somebody's wife. So as I began to peel, I could feel the layers coming off. And then once you get in the middle of the orange, we like the inside of orange. It tastes
Yeah.
good. You can put it in your drinks. Oh, I like this. It makes you feel good.
Yes. Because
Uh,
it's like you got that layer of dead skin around it.
you got all that off of you. When
Yeah.
you to heal,
Layers.
and then it ain't gonna just come back on there. Like it's off. It's off.
Yeah.
You can go on about your business and you can live a life of prosperity and fulfillment and purpose. And this is what I teach. This is one of the things I do, exercise I do in my mentorship program is we uncovered our mental strongholds. We're not asking you what your baby daddy said you who you are.
Right.
You are not what society say you are.
Mm-hmm.
You are who you are and who you want to be. You literally speak into life who you want to be.
Yes.
As it started working for me and I start healing, I'm like, you know what? Somebody else needs this.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else.
Definitely.
So that's when I came up with the road to recovery because it's definitely a road. Like you gotta find your way. You're not just gonna wake up one day and be healed. No,
Oh.
you got to get in the car, put the seatbelt on, put it in drive or reverse or drive, keep rolling
Yes.
window
You didn't even let off the airbag.
down. You got to change the station. You got to do a whole lot
Yes.
to
And
get.
that's the thing what people fail to realize is I used to always say that failures are a good option.
Mm,
Reason why failures are a good option because when you're going through your failures, they're teaching you a lesson. So those lessons that you learned during that time of you failing, you could learn from it to not repeat it.
mm,
And that's like an ongoing situation of things that we keep putting ourselves in. So we have to keep going in life on a daily basis to not keep putting ourselves through things when we already have the knowledge and common sense to know that we are wrong. So owning up to
mm.
you and owning up to your own responsibilities will create such a peaceful life for yourself instead of you always wanting sympathy all the time and you always playing victim all the time and you always want to point the finger at other people. So from you coming into this new life for yourself, this new chapter of you not dealing with, you know, abandonment no more. It was an ongoing cycle. So when your son came, you didn't repeat it.
No.
So now you know what to expect even from dating a man,
Mm.
being with a man. So you have your qualifications lined up already. So once you start believing, that's when you start receiving, and people have to realize that. So with you even starting this organization for women and doing this, you're gonna find yourself growing and changing because you're not only helping them, you helping yourself still too.
Come on, Pastor Yvette. Come on with that word.
Yes, it's like a point where we just gotta get it together and stay together. And some people don't realize that until somebody tell you. I like to be checked. So if you checking me, I know that you love me and
Yeah.
you care about me and my well being.
Yeah.
So if you're not checking me, it's not showing me that you really care about the mistakes that I'm making. It's just you just letting it happen.
Just letting it happen.
Yeah, it's like you gotta let people know what's going on that you love, and but say it with love. Don't say it
Mm-hmm.
all hateful and evil and spiteful. Just
Mm-hmm.
say it with love to a point where you can't help but to respect what they just told you.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's just a blessing that you even started this. So how do you go about your organization? How do you run it? Do you do it virtual? Do you meet up in groups? How do you do it?
So I'm working on so right now it's virtual. It's coaching, mentor, one-on-one mentorship. And we talk, we have our one-on-one talks. I give them assignments to do, things of that nature. But I'm so hands-on with my people. And it's not a one
Yeah.
size fit all because I can throw you some stuff and say, here, do it. But
Mhm.
you might be at a different place. So I make sure I assess where they're at and where we need to go. I'm still going to give you practical guidelines and ways to get there, but we may have to tweak it just for you because I want you to get to your greater. So it's definitely take,
Mhm.
it take place over the phone. We do Zoom right now, and whichever way. And I mean, I have this app called Voxer where
Okay.
they can connect with me at any time because you know it might be the middle of the night that you crying in the midnight hour and no
Mhm.
they gotta go to work, they laid up with their husbands, they
Right.
they with their family, you all by yourself. So you're able to connect with me via Voxer and I'll get right back to you. Um, to me, and I tell my sister this all the time, people don't take their clients seriously. And what I mean by that is this could be to me it's a life or death situation. It could be that one time I did not answer,
Mhm.
so flashing his tires, end up in jail, or going to go try to fight the other girl, or even trying to take your own life because the burden is so heavy. So I just make sure I'm available as much as possible. And then we go through these things, we go through applying the medications of prayer, journaling, meditations, and then also those exercises. But yeah, I love my people. I grow with them. They grow with me. And it's like a forever relationship, you know?
Yeah, that's good. What's one of your greatest testimonies of you helping a woman overcome something?
Oh, yeah. So it was one lady that I call her my friend now. She was dealing with a lot of demons when it came to her child's father. And she was one of those ones who felt like she was stuck. She had two kids by this guy, and he was coming over, having sex with her, giving her money, but then he would go right back home to the woman he left her for.
Okay.
So with that being said, I would do my prayers, my meditations. I'm talking about we'd be up all night with candles. And this was more in a person. In a person, we would be up with candles, and I would just be praying this thing out of her. And then we'll go through different journaling assignments. And to this day, she no like it took her about so my program is 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
It took her about 5 months to really see the light to be able to tell him no. That one time he did text and say, "Hey, I'm on the way. What's up? I'm trying to, I'm trying to get in where I fit in." She was able to tell him no. And ever since then she has told him no.
So what was his reaction of her finally saying, "No, you can't just have sex with me"?
He was like he thought she was playing. So he
Of
came on
course.
her anyway because that's her baby daddy, 2 kids. I've been doing this. You ain't gonna tell me no, I've been doing it. So she said he was kind of irate at first, kind of upset. He was calling her names, being disrespectful because he was mad. "Oh,
Mm.
you a whore? Are you a slut? You mess with somebody else?" Let's not forget you got a whole woman over here now.
Yeah.
And so he was calling her all these names, and of course, at first it got to her. The first couple months it got to her because she was like, "But that's not who I am." I said, "You're exactly right." The moment he gets to acting like that, you just gotta flip it and tell him, "Have a good night. I understand you. I understand you're frustrated, but I do care about you. But have a good night. Be safe." I said, "But you gotta start thinking positive. Don't feed that negative rage." So now she's healthy, she's happy. She was able to clear her mind enough to get promoted on her job.
Wow.
Her children, she can literally go to the baseballs and football games with him now. Like when he used to bring his girlfriend, she would be like, ugh,
Right.
like it would just tear her up inside because she.
Because she's still connected to that soul tie.
But now she's just fine. She's like, oh, okay. What y'all doing after the game? Y'all going with your daddy? That's her reaction now.
That's good. That's really good. And how long has it been now since she disconnected herself?
It has been for her. I want to say from what she told me, it's been about a year. About a year.
That's good. That's good. And I hope it just keep going for her. Because for her to even get promoted for her job and just keep moving forward in life, it's like it's a way where we sometimes put others before ourselves. So we want to please everybody instead of pleasing ourselves. So when you get to a point where you start pleasing yourself and start doing things for you, oh,
Mm.
people be pissed.
Mm.
They be so pissed.
Don't cut the cord. You cutting the cord. You cutting the cord.
Yeah. Like, what you doing that for?
It ain't been an issue. So what's up? You know.
Yes.
Speaking of that, Yvette, so also in my mentorship program, that right there, I'm like, okay, I got to figure this thing out. So I came up with it one day it just clicked to me, like how to bring all the puzzle pieces together. So I do have this click method that I use, and I have the letter C and the letter K.
Mhm.
One of the letter C's is commit. Commit and compliment. You commit to yourself, your God, and your child that no matter what, you're never going back to a situation that's going to bring you darkness and depression and hurt and pain, but you will continue to strive for greatness. And then you compliment yourself every day you wake up. You're like, girl, even with this ponytail, like, girl, you still fly. Look at you. You ain't draping, but you fly.
You, you was killing me with that, but we gonna keep going.
And the K, which is so dear to me and God is good, K is keep God's word close. When you can't call, when nobody else is answering, open up the Bible. I don't care what you open it to. And if you go to the back and you look and you just search what you want, hurt, I'm emotional, pain,
Yeah.
and he will direct you to a scripture that's going to fit you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring all that back down. Like, okay, now I can sleep. So don't go. We do that in my mentorship program. Just learn how to love yourself again. Do for you. You know, you can tell people no.
Oh yeah.
Tell them no.
I think it's the greatest feeling to say no now. I never wanted to say it because I was like I just felt like they'd be mad at me or just start feeling some kind of way. Nah, I don't care. No.
No.
Like it feel good. It was so hard. It was so hard for me.
Oh,
So hard. You'll think you getting a whooping or something.
right. And then you carry it on with you like, should I have said no? And then you call them back like, okay, so what you need me to do?
Right, right.
Knowing you don't feel like it, knowing you don't even have the means to do it, but you just
Yes. Even when you're nice, like you could be nice for so long and someone will take advantage of it.
yeah.
They be like, oh, she ain't gonna do nothing. And then it's like they feel like they know you because they know that part of you. But until you get pissed, they like, what happened? I ain't do nothing. Why you tripping? Or it's just always something. But it's like valuing your peace is something so important. Valuing yourself is another thing that's important because it's like we forget about those two main factors. And then for you to have those two connected, you got to have a personal relationship with God and communicate with him all the time. Sometimes it's to a point where when people feel like they got themselves together and feel like everything is coming, their blessings and everything,
They
they
stop.
forget about God.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
forget about him. They stop thanking him. They stop talking to him and preaching to him and
Mhm.
letting him know different things that's going on with your life when you got to revert back.
Mm.
Like, okay, you got me out of this, but I still need to continue to appreciate you, love you, and
Mm.
cherish our relationship that I have built in my times of struggle.
Deep.
You got to.
Deep. And it's so true because people like the feeling that when you really surrender to God and give yourself to Him, you don't want to disappoint Him. So you're not gonna settle for something that He don't want you to have. You just not gonna do it because you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta deal with His wrath. Now His
Yeah.
wrath,
Yeah.
you want that.
Oh yeah, he gonna get you. He gonna get you for sure. Either bad or good. He gonna get you, and it's gonna be when you least expect it. Just like our blessings come expected and everything else.
Man, so you are absolutely right.
They
You have
do.
you definitely have an anointing on your life, a calling, and it's really bigger than where you're at now,
Do you
but
think so?
for sure.
Well, thank you. I mean, you do too. It's just like it's just we both in our beginning phases.
Yes, for
So
sure.
then, what once we get me, you and Ashley, we could go turn up or something.
Right. You know we ready.
Be like, y'all, we ain't abandoned no more.
So it's it's been an amazing ride. And one thing I love about the whole experience is because now I realize the small things like the red flags that I didn't look at first, or I say, they don't feel good. If they don't feel good to me,
Oh yeah.
oh. And then I'm like, if I can get over that, I can get like today, I was stressed out about my hair. I'm
Yeah.
like, I told my sister,
Actually, you've been stressed out longer than that about your hair. We ain't just gonna say today because you was tripping, like I don't know, and all this. That's why I got on you yesterday on that live.
and then she called me out.
Yeah.
But they check me. I said, you know what? Okay. Uh,
Yeah, because you got to think about it. For you to reach out to me and you had something on your mind that you wanted to share and help someone, and your hair is the only thing that you had interfering at when
mm,
it's something that you could do about it at home, you
mm,
blocking a blessing for yourself. And not only that, you're sharing something of your personal life and you may be helping someone that's watching it now.
yeah.
So you can't let small things that you know that you could solve block you from an opportunity of your life.
Mm.
So you can't do that. So that's why I was on you yesterday.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because we be needing them checks for sure to keep you in line.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I appreciate, and that's why I'm like, and no matter what, I can be somebody's. I can save a life. I can save somebody who felt like they about to doubt a number, and possibly say something they're gonna regret or do something they're gonna regret. So I was like, you know what? I don't even. I was stressed out. Yeah, I even told my sister this morning. I said I was depressed. Depressed didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. I said,
Depressed from what?
I don't know. It was just a lot of stuff I was thinking about.
You know what's transpired first with your hair.
It started with the hair.
Yeah. It started with the hair. It's funny when something so small that will upset us, then we start to open wounds. Like we'll find ourselves opening up wounds where we still have a space where we don't feel secure at yet.
Mm-hmm.
So once you start feeling some kind of way about that, your mind probably went 100 miles per hour thinking about so much stuff that was really pointless.
pointless.
and it didn't matter. So it created you to make you feel depressed. Like that's how powerful somebody's mind
So
is.
it is.
I don't think people really understand how powerful the mind is. And then when we start speaking what we're thinking, it makes our problems even worse.
It does.
So that's exactly what you did.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And I was like, I text my sister right back. I said, no, that's not how I feel. We ain't even about to open up that door.
Yeah, you gotta keep going, but you can't don't look for perfection in yourself. Just look for yourself in a point where it's okay for you.
Yeah.
It's just everything will work out. It'll work out eventually and it'll all come together.
And it will. And that's the power of faith. And that's the power of going through those trials. And I always say, oh, this looks familiar. I've been through this before. And
Mm,
it's a trial. I say, oh, this looks familiar. And you just learn how to get through it.
yeah. And even what you doing is like I've done mentoring before myself, but when you mentor people, you have to be careful when you do that because sometimes it's not intentionally, but the spirits that they have within them in a process of healing, the spirits can attack you and go within you because of you helping that person and it being released from them. So you have to always stay covered and have people surrounding you that will pray that up out of you and keep you balanced. Because when you're not balanced to a point where you got people praying over you to protect you and you got to do it for yourself too, it'll cause you to have so many problems.
Yeah.
Like you have so many. So it's good that you're helping people, but while you're helping people, you have to pray and have a village of women that's going to pray with you to
Mm,
keep you covered and protected cuz it's it's
mm.
it's a whole village of evilness and devilish things that go on, but it's just people is in the process of trying to release it or
Yeah.
they don't want to.
That's it.
Yeah, it's gonna be either or, but you have to protect yourself at all times.
Hmm.
Have to.
That is awesome. And I'm glad you said that because, like I said, I really get deep and I really want to, I'm a problem solver and I really, take my time with them and try until they're all the way healed. But I got to remember that too. I got to stay in that place of healing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
you have to because what you one thing about people when they are genuine individuals that's trying to help and heal others, you have either the devil sending his children to you to attack you, or you have him attacking you to distract you mentally. So
hmm,
when you're dealing with situations like that, you have to check yourself and realize, like, oh, I see what you're doing, but I'm not gonna let this happen. You know, so it takes a while for you to get strong minded in that area for you to actually figure it out. Girl, I done mastered it so good. When it come, I just be chilling.
chilling.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Yvette. So I don't know if you know, but my book about to drop. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about is
I'm,
the gift of pain.
it is the gift of pain.
See?
Persevere through an abandoned pregnancy. So let me tell you, when I tell you the devil, it has been one obstacle after another with this book. But I had the vision a long time ago what God is gonna use the book for, how he gonna use it. So anyway, the book is done. And as I'm going to do my pre-sales, I get sick. I get
Oh,
sick. I can't do nothing. I can't talk. None of that. So I'm like, how am I supposed to do anything? So he just started doing stuff things, and I got speaking engagements and my hair. Now he know how I feel about my hair, right? So and then he just kept creating all these barriers. But then I sat down. I said, you don't want people to get saved, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna bring that light to their life. So I sat there. I said, "The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want. For He will walk in green pastures with me, and in the valleys with me." I begin to speak the word. That's why you got to know the word, because if you speak it,
Mm-hmm.
all that goes away. And I'm just like, he tried it.
Oh yeah.
But my book is dropping, and the first is it's a series. The first series talk about how the pain I went through with my child's father, but the gift I found in it. Like I actually was able to dig up some gold out of
Okay.
And I'm just like, what? You mean to tell me pain can be a gift? And it's truly a gift. And then so then the second series will talk about how after we had Jeremiah, he put me through more drama. So
Wow.
it was like I'm talking about to the point where he denied my son and we had to get 3 DNA tests. Three.
Wow.
As if the first two didn't prove if the first one didn't prove it, he got a second one and then a third one. So the second series just tells that one. And then the
Right.
third one is going to tell my next chapter.
Okay. That's good. So let me ask you this: with you sharing your journey and you a walking testimony,
Mm-hmm.
how does he feel when you're using this as a healing process for yourself, and you're basically you're mentioning him on how what things he put you through? How does he feel about it?
Well, I don't know if he know. I don't know if he know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
Got
haven't. We don't really. It's still a sticky situation where even though my son is 4,
okay.
um, we don't communicate. It's more a pick up, drop off, but it's not like conversational at all.
The basics.
Yeah, it's just the basis, and it's because he's still in this relationship or whatever. But I don't know.
Well, as long as it keep the peace. So what I want you to do is,
Hmm.
if that time do come, like even with you doing this video now, you shared the video on your page,
Hmm.
we're having this conversation. So what you're doing is, after we talk, I want you to pray about it and keep yourself covered and keep yourself at peace, because it may be a time where he or she may mention it to you, but I don't want it to bring an emotional attack to yourself to make you feel bad about what you're doing.
Hmm.
So you need to start praying on that now.
Mm.
So that time come, you pray again. So you
Mm.
can pray your way through it. Because I don't want you to get sidetracked on the blessings that you have coming to you and don't feed into it to block your blessings.
Right. Powerful.
Yes.
It's powerful. And I'm gonna tell you, it's I'm glad you said that. You just hitting on my whole soul right now. Tell you what, I even told Ash, my sister, I said I got nervous when it was time to do the pre-sales and stuff. I'm like, it's out there. My whole story is out there. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm nervous. What's gonna happen and whatever. And she kind of talked me through. But I went through that, and I'm glad you brought it back up so I can make sure I stay covered because it's gonna be another chapter. I feel like,
Yeah. It's something for you.
yeah.
Because when you express things that has to do with you and how you feel and how you want things to be said, sometimes people may interfere with that, like, no, that ain't true. This, and that. But it's how you feel. It's your story. It's what you want to share. And I don't want you to let that take you away from the direction that you're going in,
Yes, I receive.
because it can happen. I'm not saying that it will, but it can. But you sometimes it's best for us to prepare ourselves for things before it comes. So when
Mm,
it do come, we have a different mindset for it. We already be like, oh, I already knew this was coming, so let me not go in that direction and feed into it, because it's like a what they call it, allergy eaters.
mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
suck everything up out of you, and I don't want to see you go through that.
Yeah,
You don't need to.
yeah, Yeah, yeah.
That's very important.
Bad.
Yes. So is your book is fully released now, or you still doing the pre-sales?
Yes, so the pre-sales are going on until November, to the beginning of November, and then it's going to officially release November 27th.
Oh man, that's gonna be a blessing. I'm gonna have to get that.
Yes, it's right around the corner, and
Yeah.
every day I look at it, I'm just like, I would have never thought this would be my life. I would have never thought.
Well, it is. So
Mm.
get prepared. So besides you having your book released, what else do you have going on? Do you have any virtual classes coming or anything?
Yes, so I am going to right now, like I said, I'm just changing lives one by one, still doing a mentorship. Um, but I am going to launch another, I'm going to start launching healing talks here
Okay.
at the beginning of December. Um, just to give people time if they don't want to go through a whole mentorship program, you
Mm-hmm.
still have that ability to talk it out. I know people can go to counselors, they can go to psychiatry, you can go to all of that. But my thing is, I've been through it, and I'm not just reading a book, you
Right.
know.
Right.
Um, and I can relate to you and give you some more tips and techniques on how to really start healing.
That's
So
good.
that's launch in December. I'm also right now, I just started my health and wellness industry where I'm helping single mothers and mothers heal like their physically part. Like we get stuck with the baby fat, we get stuck with the stomach and all of that. But I'm actually coaching them how to alleviate that too, and just be happy with yourself all the way around.
Yeah. That's good because it's a lot of mothers that are single that need that type of help because sometimes they don't have nobody to turn to, and
Yeah.
sometimes people don't really like going to close friends and family either. They
Mhm.
like to go to somebody outside of it. So, guys, if anybody is watching, you can reach out to Ebony at any time.
So if I can, I am here to help, here to serve, and I love it. Like it does it. I love it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you want to add?
No, only thing I just want to really tell people is just appreciate where you are. Ask God, what am I supposed to learn in this season? Understand that some people are meant to stay for a lifetime. Some people are meant to stay for a season, and just know where are you at, and where is your child's father. Be aware of your energy because who you are is what you attract.
Yeah.
And if you want more out of life, you got to be more.
Mm-hmm.
No, and just cherish all the trials and tribulations along with the good, and most of all, make sure you love on yourself every day, not just every when you got a cute hairstyle or when you got some pumps on or when you got a nice little fitted dress on. Love yourself uh in those sweatpants. Love yourself, in a t-shirt, and keep God's word close. That's,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I get.
Yes. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.